All right, so up next, just a really quick news flash for you. With our vocation committee, we will be posting, after someone does a committee update, vocation update, we'll be blasting out a nice little ad for them on our social media pages. So this is the one for Jeff that's going to go out. Just wanted you guys to see that and just know that, you know, our business is to support your business as well. So.
Something I don't know about.
And then just a reminder that we will be having another happy hour trivia where Jennifer's title will be in question. We'll see if she gets knocked off her throne. The theme will be back to school. So since we're in back to school mode, and so looking forward to next Friday, we won't have a morning meeting. We will just have a social that afternoon.
Right.
So.
I cannot miss. I gotta rearrange my schedule, make sure I'm there.
Me, I'm counting on your husband to attend with us because he is my brains.
Is the theme back to school? Is that what?
Yeah, back to school.
Okay.
We're going to do back to school. That's going to be the
Maybe a
theme.
shot.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be, Michael said, you know, maybe we could do Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, but we didn't think that was fair to Jeff, so we just
Yeah,
decided.
they stopped the fourth grade in Arkansas.
Oh my gosh. Listen, don't share all my secrets, man.
All right, we just love picking on Jeff because he actually wins every single time, except for this last time, so.
I met my match with Brad. Brad got me.
All right. And then also, Carlos, did you want to go ahead and just give us a quick update on this?
Yes. We currently have, how many?
48, I guess.
About 48 backpacks here. Jennifer has, I believe Jennifer has some at her bank. Dwayne Bronner donated 200 back to school kits to include notebooks, pencils, erasers, and I was able to deliver those on Monday. So I delivered those to Brockett Elementary, Fuller Elementary, and Monaco Elementary. And so our backpack drive is going great. If y'all will share this, let's get as many backpacks together as we can. We'll get them out to all these schools. If y'all want to come in person to the social next week on Friday, bring a backpack, drop it off here. We'll collect them here.
That's wonderful. That's awesome. And this is on our social media pages. So just go to that and share and spread the news. Thank you guys for doing this. This is amazing. Just love to see some homegrown grassroots fundraising, service-oriented stuff going on, and not fundraising, sorry, service-oriented. Just giving back to the community, and it was just through the spirit of you guys just collaborating together. So thank you so much, Carlos, for spearheading this.
We've already put them to great use here at Fuller, so, and I'm sure the other campuses as well for our kiddos in need that needed them. So
that's wonderful.
That's
great to hear. Thank you, Carrie. That's awesome. Okay, and so then if you haven't seen Ashley's post in response to last week's meeting, you know, we are wanting to promote your business. So there is a post on the public page. Make sure to go to it and drop your handle in there. I feel so millennial and cool. But you know, drop your business page, your, you know, whatever it is that we can identify your business with and be able to support you and like you.
Hey, Carrie, some of us may need some assistance with that because we're technically challenged.
Okay, then go to Ashley.
Just shoot a message, or I don't know how far the tech challenges go, if you can send a message, or this person can send a message, but however you want to give me a message with.
Is it more than just copying the web link or the URL or anything?
Nope, you can do that. That's perfectly fine.
Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Don't feel bad, Hugh. I had to ask my husband how to put McKesson on there.
Yeah, the links are great because especially if you're sharing a Facebook post, if you're sharing on Facebook, like your Instagram page, for example, putting the URL in there is actually really helpful, because if you just put your @handle, it doesn't hyperlink. So like the URL is perfect.
Awesome. Good deal. Good deal. All right. And so that brings us right to our beautiful speaker, Ami Yarbrough. We're so excited and blessed to have her. She is a jack of all trades and probably one of the most resourceful people I've ever met. And just a spitfire of energy, right? And innovation. So without further ado, Ami is no stranger to our club. We love her, and you've got the floor.
Thank you. So I'll just give you a little bit of background information on me. So I'm originally from this area, kind of, just up the road in Pilot Point. Went to high school there, and so small town. And my journey, I guess, to where I am now probably started back then. I was yearbook editor for a few years and really enjoyed that. I went to school at Texas A&M, and I got a degree in journalism and marketing. And then after that, I went on to San Antonio. I worked for Linda Pace of Pace Pecani Sauce, but I worked for her and her art foundation, where I was their international program director. And there I was involved with not only running the program, but editing for press releases, catalogs, anything that marketing material that we put out was kind of my domain. From there, I went on to the Gambrinus Company, which is owner of Shiner Bock Beer. At the time, they owned Pete's Wicked Ale. They were importers for Corona, Moosehead, so huge beer company. And I was in the marketing department for them. So kind of my whole education was based on marketing and journalism, if you will. So it's kind of my foundation to where I've come to today. Next, Carrie.
I just like your face. Sorry.
So those of you, I know most of you, you know my family. I've got a daughter who is 8 and just started 3rd grade at Monaco, a sophomore who's at Aubrey High School. Marco, who we've been together since 2001, going on 19 years. And then my dog, Axel Rose, our rescue.
Oh, I love that.
So before kids, as I told you, I worked in corporate America for about 10 years. I met Marco while I was living in San Antonio. He's originally from Mexico. So then we went to Mexico City for 9 years. I had my first child right before we moved to Mexico City. She was 4 months when we moved. We had another child while we lived there. And so there I was basically a stay-at-home mom. They have schools. I did teach English a few years at the high schools in Mexico. And then it was time to move back here. So we've been back here for 6 years. So I kind of feel like I've come back home since 1990s when I left home after graduation. So I finally feel like I'm back home. Obviously the area has changed a lot since 1990. Frisco was nothing when I left. If we were going to do anything, we'd go to Denton to do shopping, go out to eat, go to a movie. Frisco, Prosper, none of that really existed other than a little dot on the map. So a lot has changed since we've come back. And this was the first time we, you know, here I was back and I was able to work. But I didn't want to go back to corporate America because now I had 2 kids. And so I wanted to do things on my schedule. So we formed a publishing company, and MAC stands for Marco, Amy, and Christine, the 3 original partners who formed it. And we did that because we wanted to start a magazine. So next. So what we wanted to be about was we wanted to be very involved in the community. We've lived in Providence Village for 6 years now. At the time it had been almost 5. And we were like, Providence Village has so much information going on. We've got 2 school districts that we deal with. You know, the town is now a town. There's a whole entity there that has events and information going on. We've got multiple HOAs, tons of Facebook groups and committees and things throughout the neighborhood. And so there's a ton of information out there, but there's a ton of different places to go look for it. So people really never were able to stay informed because they weren't sure where to go. Do I go to this web page? Do I get on this news blast? What website do I go to? How do I get this information? And so we thought, what if we just combine that into one little handy guide that showed up in your mailbox, whether you wanted it or not, it would still be there as a resource or tool. So, so we were community driven in that aspect. And then we wanted to highlight the people, businesses, and events that make the community unique, because we wanted people to be involved in it. We didn't want it to just be our voice. We wanted it to be the voice of Providence Village. So we always highlight local businesses and families. Our covers are always from a resident. We've never taken a photo to put on the cover of the magazine. We always utilize those. We wanted to connect local businesses and owners to others in the community. So many people in Providence Village are transplanted from other locations and states, and they're not real familiar with the small town that we have around us. And so when they're not familiar, they think they need to go to 380 and go left or right to go to Prosper or Denton or Frisco, when right in our immediate area and just behind us, there's so much that we can do and support local business. You know, we've got the local Aubrey Pharmacy. We don't have to go to CVS or Walmart and go to those big box stores. We can promote and help local, which in turn keeps our taxes and our money here, and it's a full circle. So we wanted to connect those local businesses with others in the community and to promote that local shopping and services that are in our area, to just help the businesses grow, which in turn helps the whole area grow, and we all benefit from that. So when you're building your business, one of the biggest things you need to do when you're doing it is define your purpose. What are you doing? Why do you do what you do? So be very mindful of that and don't just start it. So Mac actually all began with this magazine that most of you've probably seen. And again, when you're starting your business, find your niche. There's tons of magazines out there. We get other magazines, local magazines in our mailbox, but we had to define what was going to make us different from all those other magazines that show up in the mailbox. And so our niche for the magazine was that we were serving the specific needs of Providence Village. We are micro versus macro, which means, so like we did the 380 guide, it's a macro magazine because it covers 2 partial counties and it covers a huge area. We're micro in the sense that we cover a very small area and we're very specific in what we do. We also wanted to be different and create a higher quality magazine than these other ones that were showing up, so that it was quality. It might be something you would want to sit on your coffee table. So the quality design was very important, and again, getting the community involved. We didn't see a lot of that happening in some of these other magazines. So when we were deciding how we were going to be different, these were the guidelines that we followed. So the other thing you need to be mindful of when you're starting a business is, how are you going to get the word out to people? You can have the best product, you can have the best website, but if people don't know about you or how to get that information, your business will not work. And a real quick example I'll give you is the fidget spinner. You know, fidget spinners were really popular, about 3 or 4 years ago, and they were everywhere. There were knockoffs. You could find them at gas stations. Those were actually created over 10 years ago. The person that created it was a genius in engineering and creating it. They didn't know how to market it and get the word out. And so when that patent expired, someone else that knew how to market that picked it up. And because they didn't know how to get the word out, you see that fidget spinners were a huge sensation. Somebody made a lot of money off of that, but it wasn't the person who invented it. So you need to know how to get the word out. So for us, we wanted to be direct mail to every resident and business in Providence Village and beyond. And that's what we promise everyone who partners with us, is that we will get that in the mailbox. We didn't want to just be, a lot of these magazines, you just sit around restaurants, but we can't guarantee that people are going to go in and pick those up. So we direct mail it. But in addition to that, we do also set them out around town with all of our advertisers and sponsors. We put them at chambers of commerce. We set them out at local businesses, even the ones that don't partner with us. And then we also promoted its continual growth. So because we are direct mailing, with Providence Village being as large as it is, there's turnover all the time. There's always new people moving in. So there's always new people seeing our product and what we're doing. So another thing you want to do when you're thinking about your business is you want to provide options for people, because there's not really a one thing fits all when it comes to business. So what we did in our options was, you can just be an advertiser. You can just buy your ad and go issue to issue. There's no commitment. If you want to commit, we'll give you a discount, but it's not obligatory. But if you want to be a little bit more involved, we created a sponsorship, which was a bundled thing. So for just a tad bit more money, in addition to your ad, you get all these other things that are listed, which kind of gives you more bang for your buck. And people like that. Most people don't want to just buy this, this, and this all separately. If they're interested in several things, they want to bundle that. So just be sure you have options for whatever line of business you're in to make that easier so that people can get exactly what they want.
Oh.
Next. Offer what others don't have. See if you can find something that they don't have. Like I know we have a lot of realtors in the area, and I know a lot of them, and they all offer something a little bit different than each other. So they have the real estate in common, but the way they transact that business and what they offer their clients, if you work with me, this is what I'll give you. They're so creative, and so they have all these different things they offer. So for the magazine, we wanted to offer QR codes because it is a way to bring the magazine to life. So usually we have anywhere from 70 to 80 QR codes in our magazine, and those can be a variety of things that go to website, social media, video, coupons, or additional information. But the video is what I really encourage people to do, because it's almost like they've got a commercial right there in that printed magazine. So we didn't see other magazines doing that, and we wanted to give our clients the opportunity to expand their message, if you will. Be consistent. When you start out, it's really hard, but you've got to be consistent, even if you're not getting the return that you're expecting to get, or as many sales as you want. So be consistent in whatever you do, whether you're doing print advertising, social media, or a combination, you're networking, whatever you're doing, be consistent. So for advertising to work best, it requires consistency and repetition. Your prospective buyer needs to hear or see your message multiple times before they buy from you, as they may not actually need what you're offering right now. So a quick example I'll give you of that is the vet. We go to Hooves and Paws Vet Clinic. And the reason we go there is because we saw their advertising everywhere. So probably the first year that we saw that advertising, there was no return on investment from us from that advertising, because we didn't have a need for their services. But when we had that need, their advertising for that whole year prior that I'd seen paid off, because that's where we now take our dog for his services. So consistency, because you never know. I mean, people don't need to buy a house every day, but the time they need to buy a house, if you've been out there, then you're the name that's going to pop up. So another example is, think about Nike. If they just advertised once or twice, we wouldn't know what "just do it" means or what their checkmark logo represents. Yet when we see those items now, we all know we'll get quality merchandise. And though we may not need those basketball shoes when the ad comes out, we know where to go when we do need them. So be consistent with your message. And then consistency is not just being consistency with doing it over and over and over. Be consistent with your image and your look. I've got some people that when they want to advertise in the magazine, they change their look every single time. And I'm like, you look like a new advertiser every time. So find something that works, that's identifiable, that where people don't even have to read the words. When they just see it with their eyes, they know your company. And then I got ahead of myself when we already talked about fidget spinners. Okay, so also be very specific in what you will do and what you don't do, okay? So for the magazine, we will create a specific marketing plan for your target audience. So we're not just saying, give us your ad, pay a bill. We want to work with you to create a specific plan. We want to connect you with others in the community so that you can grow your business. We do that by holding networking events. We're always pairing people up to do, like we'll pair two of our partners up together to do an event. We'll help you design an effective ad. We'll help you identify your niche so that you have an edge over the competition. And then we'll generate those interactive connections through our QR codes that we just talked about. So these are specific things we would sit down and do with you. And then what we won't do for you is we won't lock you into a contract in order to get affordable pricing, and we'll never take your money and run. We're looking to build long-term interactive relationships that connect people and inspire communities to grow. So if there's certain things that you don't offer, just tell them up front, we do this, but we don't do this. So MAC became more than a magazine. So you have to be able to adapt and grow. And that's with anything, but COVID has really proven this to be more truer than ever across all industries. I mean, travel, concerts, things that we never, movie theaters, who would have ever thought that those were gonna go away in our lifetime or go down? So always be willing to adapt and grow. So as we were going through COVID, because our target audience is small businesses are the ones who were hurt the most during this time. And so as much as we were wanting to help them, we had to adapt ways to help them because they couldn't all afford to advertise during that time period. So we basically now have taken MAC to a full-fledged publishing and media group. So instead of just printing our magazine, we print postcards, flyers, brochures, posters. We're doing calendars. We can do fundraising through all these things to help local organizations. We also offer bulk mailing services where you can save money on mass mailing. So we can share that bulk mail rate with you to help you get into people's mailbox at a lower rate than what you may already be paying. We also offer small business coaching. So if you're stuck or need help finding your niche, we'd love to just sit down with you and talk. And that's something that's kind of come out of this COVID thing as well as we're adapting. And then we also started doing social media posts and going live with our sponsors. Because we felt like that was a way to get that message out when they couldn't actually be in the magazine. We work with partners to create events for them. We did that during COVID. We went live. We did cookie decorating events. We did baking events for kids. Kids were stuck at home. Parents were going crazy. It's like, how can we work with some of these small businesses to keep them generating income, but provide a service to the community? So that worked out really well. And then we work with other partners. So we specialize in print media. We don't specialize in digital media, but we do partner with people that we trust in the community that can help you with graphics, websites, social media, and other things. So marketing, so many people are like, I don't know what to do. What does marketing mean? And marketing means a lot of stuff. But the basics of when you're thinking about your marketing plan for your business is you've got to define your audience. Who are you targeting? In most cases, you can't target everybody. You've got to find who it is. So for us, for the magazine, our audience is Providence Village. That's our audience. As we said before, find your niche. What makes you different than anyone else out there with that same product or service? Because if you're just the same as everyone else, you're going to be just the same as everyone else. How can you be different? How can you be better? You need to learn how to funnel. Funnel is a whole topic in itself, but funneling, basically, if you can imagine a funnel, you start up here with something to get them in that funnel. And so the very bottom of the funnel might be, let's say for a realtor, it's selling a house. But to get them into that funnel, they may offer, sign up for my email letter and you'll get a free list or you'll get a free PDF on how to stage your home. Something like that. So you start out with something very inexpensive or free and you move them through this funnel and you keep them informed until you finally get to that big ticket item of what you're really wanting to do. Because you don't just walk up to somebody and say, hey, buy a house from me. You walk up to them and you create that relationship and it's like, you know what, we'll sign up for you want to sell your house, we'll just sign up for my newsletter and I'll just send you some tidbits and information on how you can do that. So funneling is a really big thing. A lot of small businesses don't do it because they don't know how to do it. We would love to help you learn how to do that. You need to have a budget, a marketing budget. A lot of people, when they say, I don't have money for advertising, I don't have money for marketing. And so if you don't have money to market your business, you probably then need to be marketing your business, because that's the only way you're going to generate more income, so that you can then, so always set aside a budget for marketing when you're starting your business. Because like I said, if you've got the greatest thing in the world, you can't market it to the right people, you won't sell it. Show people what you do, don't tell them, show them. So when we started our magazine, I didn't have a magazine to show anybody. It was an idea. So it's like, why would these people give me their money when I don't have anything to show them? So we created our media kit as a mini magazine. And so this media kit is the same quality of the magazine we were printing. So people had something to touch and feel, and they could definitely see that we were going to have a higher quality than anything else that was currently coming to their mailbox. So again, show them, tell them, actions speak louder than words. So definitely show them. And one of the biggest things when you're starting your business, define your why. Because your why is what will keep you going. So on this next slide, we'll talk about the why. So I don't know if any of you know, Simon Sinek is a really good, he does these little TED Talks about building your business. And so one of the things he talks about is the golden circle. And you can look him up on YouTube. He's got lots of great inspirational videos. But your why is, why do you do what you do? What's the cause, the purpose, or belief for what you're doing? And why, what is it that makes you get out of bed in the morning? And so your why isn't to make more money. I mean, we all want to make more money, right? That's why we work and do things. But why do you want to make more money? Do you want to get out of debt? Do you want to stay at home so you can go do things with your kids? Do you want to be debt free so you can just travel and work from anywhere in the world? Like, what is your why? And when you do your why should go about 3 or 4 levels deep. I do this because I want to get out of debt. Why do you want to get it out? I want to get out of debt because I want to travel more. Well, why do you want to travel more? Because I want to take my kids. So when you're trying to define your why, you need to go about 3, 4, maybe 5 levels deep. And the moment you get to the emotional part where you feel like your eyes are filling up with water, you've hit your why. That's how strong your why needs to be to keep your business going, because you're going to have those days that are so negative and nothing's going right and no one wants your business and you want to stop. But if your why is strong enough, it'll hold you going. It'll hold you. So people buy what you do. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And this is why the why is so strong. And so I'm just going to give you an example that Simon gives about Apple. So Apple sells computers. So most computer companies say, we make great computers. Okay, that's what we do. So if you look at this little target that's in front of you, most companies start on the surface with what they do, then they say how they do it, and then they say why they do it. So that would be, what do you do? We make great computers. How do you do it? We make beautifully designed, user-friendly, simple to use products. Want to buy one? What Apple does, they start with their why. They start with from the inside and work their way out. So what Apple says is, everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. How do you do it? We do it by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. What do? Oh, we just happen to make great computers, want to buy one. So they get you on that emotional level and get you into believing that what they believe and why they do it. And then in most cases, you want to do business with them. And so now, because they make great computers, you want to buy their phone and their tablets and their DVRs and their MP3s. You want to buy everything they do because they're good at that one thing. They may not be good at all that, but because they're good at what they do in that one area, they're associated to be good with this other stuff. So the goal is not to do business with everyone who needs what you have. The goal is to do business with people who believe what you believe. And so when those beliefs are in alignment, that's when the good stuff happens. So like when we go out to find new partners for our magazine, we don't just walk up and say, hey, here's a magazine you want to advertise. We start our spiel with, we're Mac Publishing and we're about connecting small businesses. We're about growing the community. and this is what we believe in. And then people are like, well, so what do you want from me? Or how do you do that? And it's like, well, we have this tool right here that goes into mailboxes that we can help get your message out. So that's what we do when we market, is we start with what we're doing and why we do what we do. And then we get down to what our actual product is. So the why is probably the most important thing when you start your business. The other thing to remember is you're not alone when you're starting your business. Get yourself involved with the community around you, different organizations, groups, neighbors. Don't reinvent the wheel. People think they have to start from scratch when they have a business. So we worked with a small business who she wanted to open up her spa. And she needed contracts and she needed to set up her website. And so it's very overwhelming if you try to do this all from the ground up. So what we worked with her was, you've been in this industry for 10 years. Go to websites that you like, pull what you want from each one, and combine those to make your website. Go look at these contracts that you've worked with before. Take the information that appeals to you and tweak it to make it your own. You don't have to start with a blank page on everything that you do. Don't fear rejection. You're going to get a lot of rejection. For us, no means not now. And we've had people that have told us no, they didn't want to be a part of the magazine, that approached us later. It's like, you know what, I think I do want to be a part of it. So don't fear the rejection, because you're going to get, the average ratio is you're going to get 10 no's for every one yes that you get. And so if you know that mathematical equation, I did Mary Kay years and years ago. And one week we were challenged to get 100 no's. We had a sheet that had 100 boxes on it. And when we came back the next week, she wanted to make sure that there were check marks in all 100 boxes. I sold $1,000 of product that week because I was like, okay, I got 9 no's, the next one's probably going to be yes. And obviously it's not always 9 to 1, every 9 is 1, but that's the ratio. So just be prepared that you're going to get more no's, and don't take it personal. It's business. I have sometimes people will be talking about advertising the magazine and they're afraid, I think, to say no because they don't ever address it. And I'll tell people, like, this is business. I don't take this personal. So don't take those things personal. People don't always need what you're offering, and that's okay. And when people don't want to do business with you, or they don't think they need to do business, ask for referrals, because they know a lot of people who may need what you're selling or what service you're providing. And get your audience involved. So just like I was saying earlier with the magazine, we always look for involvement from the community when we put our magazine out. Got to get outside your comfort zone. A lot of people have trouble with this. They don't like meeting new people. They want to stay home and they just want the business. They want the phone to ring. They want customers to walk through their door. They don't want to have to get out and do the work. So great ways, especially in communities like ours that are smaller, get involved with the Chamber of Commerce. Start networking. Lots of networking events in our community. Chamber's got a monthly one. Point Bank has them. We host quarterly events, and there's local business network. There's master networks. There's all kinds of networking opportunities. Volunteer. Start volunteering in your community, and you'd be amazed at the connections you can make just through volunteering. Get involved with your schools, your PTO. If you've got kids in sports, be an active sport parent. Don't just drop them off and pick them up. Get to know other parents. That could be your next client. That could be your next business partner. You never know. Work with local organizations and businesses, and serve your community, town, your HOA, committees, school boards. Just look for different ways to be involved. Be sure you build a relationship. Don't sell to them. So when you're talking to people, listen to people to understand what they're saying, not to answer. So many times we think we know what they need, and so they're telling us what they need, but we're not hearing it because in our head we already think we know. And then you start to try to sell them something, and it's like, that's not what I was saying. So you can always use the ask, tell, ask. You ask somebody what they do. Tell me about you. Tell me about your business. And then you repeat that to them. So I understand that this is what you do. These are your goals. This is what you're trying to do. And then you can ask for the business. So I see that you're trying to market your business. Are you wanting to do direct mail? Would you like to do local advertising? What are some different ways I could help you do that? So listen to their need and then let them know how you could help them. Also remember, make it how you can help them versus how they can help you. So again, that's just what we were talking about, the ask, tell, ask. Don't just go to try to sell straight to them. This is what I can do for you. Let them tell you how they can help you, and then you can help them in return. Always show appreciation with anybody that you're working with, and go above and beyond. You know, send them a note, send them some chocolates, take them some cookies, drop off some tacos, do something to just let them know that you're appreciative of what they've done for you. Build partnerships with people and find a common ground. So people that we work with in the magazine, we call them our partners. We don't want them to just be an advertiser that gives us an ad and then pays an invoice. We want it to be a partnership that continues. It's a relationship. And one of my personal things is always give more to the relationship than you take. Personal, business, anything you're doing. Don't be the one that's always taking. Be the one that's giving. Always support others. So obviously the biggest way you could support others would be to do business with them, but there may not be a way you can do business. So for instance, I don't need to buy or sell a house right now. So I don't need the services of a realtor. I know lots of great realtors in the area. So the way that I can support them when I don't need that business is I can refer them to others, and I can refer other people to them. I can also be very active on their pages, like, share, and comment on their posts. And even though I'm not doing business with them, I can still rate them or recommend them, because I don't have to say, oh, Jennifer or Carlos helped me get the greatest house ever and it was a great experience. I can just say, you know what, they're very professional, highly recommend working with these people. So you don't have to transact actual business to recommend someone. You can recommend them on many other qualities other than a sale. Always surround yourself with like-minded people. If you get yourself surrounded with the negative, you're going to turn negative. I always like to surround myself even with people who I believe are way smarter than me, because that's the way I learned. You need to always have an open mind. We don't know it all. You can always learn more. So surround yourself with like-minded people and people you can learn from. Also realize that it's okay to outgrow relationships. Relationships aren't always meant to be forever. And if you outgrow it, it's okay. Outgrow it and move on. Be careful and don't burn bridges. Out in the professional world, you never know when you might need that help from someone. So try to keep it professional and leave that bridge there. Even if the bridge at the moment is very shaky, don't burn it down completely. Give it some time to build back up, because you may need to go back down that bridge at some point or cross it again. And the most important thing is be real and be you. This isn't an act. People want to be with you. So build that relationship. So a lot of times when we do Facebook Lives with people are like, I'm so nervous. What am I going to say? And I'm like, we're just going to talk and you're going to mess up and we're going to have bloopers, and that's fine, because we're real people. And when people see that we're real, they connect with us better than if we look like we're perfect people. So we won't be perfect. We'll just be real. And so the other thing, especially as an entrepreneur, even people that are working outside the home or with a company, never put all your eggs in one basket. You never know what's going to happen. COVID's another classic example of people had great jobs. They were making great money. They didn't have anything else lined up because this was going to be their thing. That was going to be their retirement. And then COVID happened, and now they've lost it all. They have nothing to fall back on. So even though Mac Publishing is my main business, AB Advisors is what the leg that we use to coach businesses, separate leg. I'm also a mobile notary. I also do health and wellness education and show people how to shop for health and wellness on a budget. And I'm working with a few other ladies in the community, and we're creating the Red Table, which is a networking group for women, empowering women in their business journey. And this would be for women at any place in their journey, including an idea in their head. They've got a business idea and they just don't know how to get it out of their head and into reality. All the way up to someone that has a full-fledged business and just wants to make it roll even faster than it already is. So it'll be a group of women coming together to empower each other. We will have workshops, we will have hands-on. It won't be networking, referral networking. I mean, we'll meet people, but it's gonna be actually empowering women to grow their business. If you wanna get out of your 9 to 5 and you've got this dream, we wanna be there to help you do that. So that's another project we're working on. So the way we kind of, when we do our sales pitch, you know, we build our relationship, we give our why. And the sales pitch that I'm talking about, maybe 2 or 3 visits. I'm not talking this always happens in one sitting, because we want to build a relationship and get to know you, find out what your needs are. Then we may get together and talk about, okay, well, these are the products we have. Let's discuss, will they help you or not, and how. And then at the end, we just ask them, so are you ready? And our little tagline is join the experience and be a part of something bigger. So for anyone out there right now who is wanting to know how they can serve the community more, our schools, school districts, and nonprofits in the area, we have 2 school districts, we have lots of nonprofits. They don't have marketing budgets that they can get the word out in the magazine. We from time to time give space as we have it. But we are looking to partner with businesses and people in the community that want to give back to the schools and the nonprofits and help them have a voice in our magazine that will goes out to over 4,200 mailboxes. So if you would like to help those people do that in the community, we'd love to talk with you so that we can help the schools and nonprofits get their voice out. And then, is that our last slide? So I'll tell you one more thing that didn't make it into the slide. Through COVID, when we started doing these live events with our sponsors, it was something that I really enjoyed, is just getting out and talking with people. And so what that's led to is I will be starting a daily talk show. We're working on it now, and it's just gonna be pretty much like 15-minute TED Talks. People don't have time to listen for 30 minutes. They don't have time for an hour. So we're just gonna be meeting with people all over the community. Businesses, we'd love to meet with kids that have side gigs, you know, a magician that might wanna get hired for a birthday party. Help people get the word out on what they do. So if that's something you'd be interested in, we would love to have you as a guest on the show as well and help you get your word out to the community. And we'll be partnering with people in the community for the show as well. So Farmers is going to be one of the location sets that we're going to use for taping. And to reciprocate, what we're going to do is they're going to be the sponsor of our show for that week. They're going to get advertising for that. I'm looking to pair with people that are stylists because I'm like, I'm going to have different clothes every single day. That's going to get expensive, right? So it's like, why not work with stylists that can do that? And in return, I can help them get their business out as well. So definitely looking to partner with people and how we can help each other grow. And yeah, have any questions?
Awesome. Thank you, Amy. I mean, wow. Anyway. You couldn't put it all into one event or one meeting, and so we're just so grateful because I know you even have more to share on that, and so we'll have to maybe do little segments or specials or things like that. But that is such a wealth of information and so great to hear. I know we're at time. Thank you guys so much.
You have one quick question. If we could get Amy's contact information as well. Just shared out. I don't know if you wanted to say that real quick.
Yes,
I'm also working on a post for Facebook after this.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. We'll get Amy's information out. We'll get and yeah, Amy, if you could get with Ashley and
just
give her any of that.
Email your contact information that you want me to use, and I'll put that in the post and send it to you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Before we wrap it up, did anyone have anything? No? Okay, so.
Yeah, I have a real quick, so your Apple analogy, Apple has a $2 trillion market capitalization. They just passed $2 trillion. So here's a product that is in everybody's pocket, is the form factor, $2 trillion. That's how much the value of that company's worth. So yeah, that's a pretty big, that's a big number. So,
that is amazing. Wow. Well, Amy, we are just so glad to have you. If you do us the honor and lead us out in the 5-way test, all
Sure.
you have to do is just read the slide all the way from the very top where it says the 4-way test, and then actually say number 1, number 2, things like that. Okay?
The 4-way test are the things we think, say, or do. Number 1, is it the truth? Number 2, is it fair to all concerned? Number 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? But number 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And number 5, have some fun.
All right, ring that bell, Carlos. Or Amy, you can ring it. You're right there. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Have a wonderful week. And thank you, Amy. Anything else that you want to share that we will post up, just let us know and we will post it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Thanks, Amy. That was really good.
That was awesome. Amy, I had no idea.